In a Miami Dollar Tree nestled somewhere between the aisles of discounted goods and everyday bargains, authorities uncovered a truly chilling discovery. Inside a walk-in freezer, a place normally stocked with frozen foods, was the body of a respected anesthesiologist from Nicaragua. She wasn't an employee. She wasn't a customer who had simply gotten trapped. Police haven't called it a homicide, but they also refused to rule it out. So how did a dedicated physician end up in such a bizarre and cold final resting place? And what are the unanswered questions that continue to swirl around her final baffling hours? The morning of Sunday, December 14th of 2025 began like any other at the Dollar Tree on Southwest 8th Street in Miami's Little Havana neighborhood. An employee arrived around 8 a.m. to prepare the store for opening, but a routine check of the back stockroom would lead to a horrifying and unforgettable scene. Inside the walk-in freezer, an area restricted to employees only, the worker found a woman, unresponsive. The call to 911 was immediate. When Miami police and the fire and rescue officials arrived, they confirmed the grim reality. The woman, later identified as 32-year-old Helen Sanchez, was deceased. The initial dispatch audio, later released to the public, added a layer of profound strangeness to the already tragic event, with a dispatcher noting, "Complainant found a naked female in the cooler of the store. Staff at the store did not recognize her," deepening the initial mystery as crime scene tape cordoned off the familiar storefront and a van from the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office waited outside. A case began that defied easy explanation. From the very outset, authorities were cautious. They publicly labeled the case an unclassified death, a term that signifies a deep uncertainty. It was not immediately a crime scene, but it wasn't a clear-cut accident either. It was simply a mystery, cold and silent. To understand the true dissonance of this case, you will have to understand who Helen Sanchez was. She wasn't a transient or a local in crisis. She was a highly educated and respected physician, a world away from the cold floor of a discounted store freezer. Originally from Nicaragua, Dr. Sanchez had dedicated her life to one of the most demanding fields of medicine. She was an anesthesiologist who specialized in congenital heart disease. Think about that for a moment. Her career was built around hope and healing, especially specifically for children with life-threatening heart conditions. A GoFundMe page set up by her family notes that her work brought hope and healing to the countless children and families. She was also a devoted mother to 2 children, who remained in her native Nicaragua, waiting for her return. This fact cast a particular heartbreaking shadow over the entire event. Her colleagues and friends from her university days described her as a unique and in her specialty within her country. Her life was one of purpose and intellect and profound care for others. This is the woman at the center of the mystery, a healer, a mother, a daughter. And this vibrant, accomplished life makes her final moments and the place she was found all the more incomprehensible. The single most complexing part of this entire case is the timeline. A series of events that seems logically on the surface but makes no sense when examined closely. According to the police and corroborated by store surveillance footage, Dr. Gray entered the Dollar Tree on her own the night before she was found. She walked in on Saturday evening, before the store closed for the night. She didn't buy anything. This is where the story veers from the mundane into the deeply strange. Instead of browsing the aisles and leaving, Dr. Sanchez was reportedly seen making her way into a restricted, employee-only area in the back of the store. This is the area that houses the stockroom and the walk-in freezer. Police have been clear about one thing based on their review of the video evidence. They do not suspect foul play and have stated she was not forced into the freezer. But this official statement only generates more questions than answers. How does a customer, a non-employee, simply walk into the back rooms of a retail store without being stopped? How does one do so and then remain there, undetected, for the entire night? And the most critical question of all, why would anyone voluntarily enter a walk-in freezer and stay there? These freezers are loud, disorienting, and obviously dangerously cold. They are not places one simply wanders into by mistake and remains. Yet investigators believe she spent the night there, her body only being discovered the next morning when an employee returned to the area. The timeline presented by authorities suggests a series of deliberate actions, but the motive behind those actions remains a complete and total blank. It's a puzzle where the pieces don't fit, and the central image they're supposed to create is missing. With a bizarre set of circumstances and a victim whose life seemed completely disconnected from her death, the Miami Police Department faced a significant challenge. Their official stance has remained consistent. There is an unclassified death. That terminology is crucial. It means investigators cannot or will not definitely label this a homicide, or taking yourself out, or an accidental death until more evidence comes to light. The key to the classification lies with the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office, whose full autopsy report is pending. That report will be pivotal in determining the exact cause and manner of death. Investigators are looking at every possible angle. They are speaking with Dr. Sanchez's family, who were seen grieving outside the store as the investigation began, to understand her state of mind. They are looking into whether she had any personal or mental health issues that could explain her behavior. This line of inquiry is standard but vital in a case with no obvious external forces at play. The fact that she was reportedly found without clothes adds another deeply puzzling layer that authorities have yet to explain. While some have speculated this could be related to a phenomenon known as a paradoxal undressing, which can occur in the final stages of severe hypothermia, this remains only a theory until confirmed by the medical examiner. Meanwhile, Dollar Tree issued a statement expressing their condolences and confirming they are cooperating fully with the authorities, but they have not committed on the crucial question of how a non-employee accessed a restricted area. The doctor's family said in the GoFundMe fundraiser they organized has referred to her death as a tragic accident while abroad. It's a statement of quiet grief, but it stands in stark contrast to the profoundly strange details of the case. For now, the investigation is a waiting game, waiting for a toxicology report, for the final autopsy results, and for some clue that can explain the inexplicable. As the investigation continues, we are left with a void of information, filled only by a handful of deeply troubling questions. These are the points of mystery that prevent this case from being closed, and that haunt the memory of Dr. Sanchez. First and most fundamentally, how and why did a non-employee gain access to a restricted stockroom, and subsequently the walk-in freezer? Was a door left open? Was she unnoticed? Or is there another explanation entirely? Second, what happened inside that freezer? If she entered voluntarily, as police suggest, what was her intention? It is difficult to imagine a scenario where someone willingly stays inside a commercial freezer without a clear and urgent reason. Third, what does the surveillance footage truly show? While police have said it indicates no foul play was involved, does it capture her state of mind? Does it show her appearing disoriented, distressed, or something else? And does it definitely show that no one else was involved, even indirectly? Fourth, the detail that she was found naked is profoundly disturbing and requires an explanation. Was it a result of medical crisis, a feature of hypothermia, or is it a clue to something more sinister that the initial evidence has missed? Finally, what was a respected physician, a mother of two, just one day away from flying home to her children, doing at that Pacific Dollar Tree on that Pacific night? Her presence there is the inciting incident of this whole tragedy, and it remains perhaps the most baffling question of all. The case of Dr. Helen Gray Sanchez is a tragedy defined by its contradiction. She was a woman who saved lives, yet died in the most sterile and impersonal of places. Her death is being investigated with no suggestion of violence, yet the circumstances are bizarre enough to fuel widespread speculation. Police say that she acted alone, yet her actions defy logical explanation. Currently, the case remains open and unclassified. Her family is grieving and attempting to raise funds to bring her home to Nicaragua for a final resting place, surrounded by loved ones. They are left with the memory of a woman known for her strength, warmth, and unwavering love, while the world is left with a chilling, unanswered mystery. The story of the doctor in the Dollar Tree freezer is not just a strange headline. It is the story of a life of healing cut short by a final chapter that, as of now, makes no sense at all. This case is still active, and many questions are still unanswered. What are your theories on what could have happened in those final hours? Do you think this was a tragic accident or something else? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And for updates on this case and others like it, make sure to like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.